So I look at you.
Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm so pleased to have my next guest here from the film Meet My Rapist, which is a short in slam dance. I have Jesse Kahnweiler. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Kahnweiler?
whatever.
And who is the filmmaker, as well as Jacob Gilbert, who's cinematographer, co-producer. And really, you guys, let's just be honest, with everything slam dance, you do it all,
right.
don't you?
We do craft
services.
Parking,
yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Parking, exactly. Well, welcome to the show. I have to say, both of you looking great, I might add, as it were, too. A little inside joke there, but welcome to the show. How have you found slam dance and the experience here at Sundance as well, Park City?
It's pretty crazy. It's just like awesome people. Like, you go to parties and there's nobody you want to avoid.
Right?
It's really weird. And then there's just like free
unusual,
vodka and hummus. And it's basically heaven.
Free vodka and hummus. That, I suppose that could be a slice of heaven for some people, certainly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And films too.
Yeah, well, it goes with that saying, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to talk about your film just a little here in a moment, but the other thing that I wanted to know, when did you premiere it? It already has premiered
yes.
this time.
So we had our first screening on Tuesday,
okay.
and we have our second screening tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Yeah, very, very cool. And that's, of course, up at Treasure Mountain. Tell me a little bit, I know this the obvious question that comes up immediately, this is a real-life experience. This is your experience. Yeah, so
Meet My Rapist, it's a dark comedy about me running into my rapist at the farmer's market 8 years after the incident. And
wow.
So running into this dude, like, what would it be like if I saw him, and trying to kind of show him the effect he's had on my life. So I take him to meet my parents, like a Jew.
Really?
You know, like a good Jewish girl, I take him to therapy. You know, there's some frolicking. So it's kind of dealing with this process of coming to terms with, you know, trauma and all the denial that goes in with that. And it's based on a true story.
You smile when you say some of these things, which I can only, I have such a hard time imagining. I suppose is that a coping mechanism? Is that part of the stages? I mean,
we're getting
where
deep.
Are we at? Yeah, where are we at?
Getting deep this early. So, you know, for me, basically, when I was sitting down to write this script, I mean, this is a story that I needed to tell.
Right.
Because I was having trouble coping and coming to
right.
terms and getting over my own rape, which happened 8 years ago.
So there's some catharsis here.
Absolutely. So I was like, oh, I gotta get over this. Like, I went to therapy. I'm doing everything right. I told people, like, why is this still such an issue for me? Like, I was just pissed off. So I sat down to write this story, and this is the story that came out. I wasn't trying to make a comedy. I think for me, I view, you know, there's a spectrum of emotions that goes
right.
into everything in life, and I always look at everything, you know, there's comedy and tragedy and vice versa. So it's a big, colorful wheel of feelings.
Yeah, well, we know the Jewish people are very funny. There's no doubt. As you alluded to a moment ago, take them home
loud.
to meet mom.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's remarkable though that you're able to find a place to even to work. It must be, for anybody looking at the outside, must be quite astounding. Which kind of brings into the question: how did you meet Jacob? And tell me a little bit about that relationship as a filmmaker and the writer, and you know those. How did that come together?
Well, like most indie things in LA, it's just like, who knows a person with a camera, and da, da, da. And we kind of got set up, and we met, and I wrote the script, and I was kind of like, oh, shoot, do I really want to do this? Like, everybody was like, whatever you do, don't make this movie, ever, forever.
Wow.
And then we had coffee, and he was just, oh, this is how I see it, and these are the lenses, and what about having, and all these crazy ideas that I would then later steal. But the movie really, I mean, it really, after meeting Jacob, was like, this movie isn't just mine anymore, you know? So
yeah, you're having to share it, there's no doubt.
And just all along the way, I mean, in independent filmmaking, everything from like deciding the shot list to he's feeding me lines at the end, he's talking to me about my performance, he's helping me steal locations. I mean, it's really like a team.
Yeah, our mutual friend Ryan Layson introduced us, and as soon as I read the script, as soon as I really started delving into what I had in front of me, it was apparent that I had to do this. Like, I had to shoot this because so many people were like, no, don't do that.
That's when you always say, oh yeah, I absolutely should.
Well, I feel like
right?
like currently, you know, just being in sort of this safe you know, nothing controversial, nothing. I don't even say edge, but just nothing that really speaks. And as soon as I read this, I was like, I'm absolutely shooting this. This is going to be mine. So it was great from there on out.
Wow.
Yeah, we'd never fight.
Yeah, we all know that that's not true. No, I have to say, it is. I think with any relationship like this, there's. I think anytime filmmakers are getting together, that there's certainly part of that. But let's talk from the filmmaker's perspective a little bit too. I wanted to talk about that. You shot this on the 7D.
Shot this on the 7D, and you know, a lot like Los Angeles filmmaking. You know, the DIY spectrum is. We talk about lenses, we talk about cameras, we talk about equipment.
And then reality hits.
And in reality, it's like, we have
You have 38 seconds to get this shot before the cops come.
Exactly. And, and it really came down to, it wasn't necessarily last minute, but it was just, this is what we have to shoot.
It's run and gun a little bit,
make it work.
right?
I mean, run and gun is, we would be so lucky to be run and gun. This was, you know, this was a slaughterhouse of just, we have to get this, we have 45 minutes to get this scene, let's go.
But that also makes it kind of fun, though.
No,
like,
right.
Because you're doing everything, and it gives you this pressure cooker, and I don't know, it creates an awesome energy, I think.
Yeah, performance, all of it comes from that, doesn't it? A little bit.
It's sort of like, it creates a necessity. It creates a, you know, not a desperation, but you kind of see it in the final product, this sort of, I guess we would call it a desperation, if you will.
but like a cute desperation.
Of course, it's always cute.
Did you work on the edit together?
No, I have an editor, Scott Evans. He's a great LA-based editor, and kind of the same situation.
Right.
He's like, "What are you doing now?" I'm like, "I'm doing this thing, and I can't pay you anything. And in fact, can I borrow some money?"
Yeah, right. Because your budget, as I understand, is like seriously, it was like negative 300. Is that right?
If that.
Yeah.
Like if that. I mean,
we had some burritos once.
Yeah.
Well, one question I have about the filming and then taking it to the editor, I've noticed, and I'm curious if this is the case for you. When you have a great editor can bring a vision to something that the filmmaker typically doesn't. So you have your own thing, it's, you know, out of your head, and now you give that to somebody, and then they take it, and sometimes they amp it up a notch, I've found, because of their skill and because of the fact they're seeing it from a different perspective. Did you find that to be the case here? Yeah,
I mean, I think Scott and I have a really cool relationship. I think especially because I'm directing and then I'm on camera. I'm just like, by the time we edit, I'm so sick of myself. So I kind of let him play around with the footage and do a string out, and then we kind of go into like a little bit of emotional battles, you know, and that's so fun because he'll have an idea about a performance or tonally. You know, I tend to want to like get in and get out. I'm really quick, and he likes to take time and let things breathe. So it's so fascinating. After you've already written the script and given the performances, you have yet another opportunity to really delve in and emotionally map the story, right? From a different perspective. So it's really fun. You said that you get sick of yourself. I'm sick of us right now. So I think we should take a look at the clip, right? I'm just saying. So here it is. Meet my rapist. That is the clip from the film. What a shocking moment. Told you. Yeah, it reminds me of a video. It's going down in the Whole Foods parking lot. This is, it certainly feels like it's about to go down right there. And things get a little amped and crazy at that point, don't they? Well, we can't afford Whole Foods, so it's going down. It's a little out of our budget. In the local farmer's market. Yeah. Wow. Well, I hope you're having just the greatest time here at Slamdance. Of course, as we mentioned, tomorrow, or today rather, or tomorrow, yes, 2 o'clock tomorrow is your next opportunity at the Treasure Mountain Inn to see the film. Yes. So I want to thank you both so much for being here and wish you the very best luck in the festival. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, this is like our complete dream to be here, and Slamdance is amazing, and I'm trying to play it cool, but it's just a dream. I mean, to be in a place where people are like, don't make a film, and then to be able to be here is just... And bring it anyway. I just want to keep pissing people off. That's the next question, the last question. Will you be back? Will you be back? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Scorsese is on hold right now, so we should probably go. All right, let's do that. We will be back, and when we do Camp X-Ray, we have a review of that film for you right here on Park City Television's Mountain Morning Show. We'll be right back.